At exactly 1400 hours local time in the Strait of Hormuz, the operation begins. And this is where everything can go wrong in seconds. Two American Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers, USS Frank E. Peterson Jr. and USS Michael Murphy, move steadily into one of the most dangerous waterways on Earth. The mission sounds simple on paper. Open the shipping corridor, locate the mines, clear the path, and get through alive. But in these waters, nothing is ever simple. Just beyond the strait, near the Gulf of Oman, two massive warships hold their ground. The aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln C. VN-7 2 stands ready with its full air wing, while USS Tripoli LHA-7 forms a second defensive layer. Together, they create a shield of steel and firepower over the operation. From the Lincoln, F/A-18 Super Hornets launch in rotating waves, climbing into the sky alongside F-35C Lightning II stealth fighters that take top cover over the strait. From the deck of the Tripoli, F-35B Lightning X jets lift off in short takeoffs, joining the patrol. Sea and sky are now fully synchronized, watching for a single trigger: any hostile move from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Because here, one mistake doesn't just fail a mission, it starts a war. At the front of the formation, the lead destroyer slices through the water with controlled precision. Every sensor on board is running at maximum capacity: mine detection radar, forward sonar arrays, and advanced combat systems deep within the ship's core. Inside the Combat Information Center, sailors sit locked onto glowing screens, tracking every movement in real time. No chatter, no distractions, only data. Every signal is questioned. Every shadow beneath the surface is treated as a threat, because in the Strait of Hormuz, danger doesn't announce itself. It disguises itself. It could be a drifting mine, a harmless-looking fishing boat, or something that appears for just a second before vanishing again. This is not a routine transit. Every meter forward is contested space. One hidden explosive, one aggressive maneuver, and the mission shifts instantly from clearance to combat. Even as the mine clearing operation unfolds, the destroyers are fully armed and ready for war. The Mark 41 vertical launch system stands loaded, 96 cells capable of firing a range of weapons from long-range interceptors to anti-submarine rockets. The Mark 45 5-inch gun remains aimed forward, ready to engage surface threats in seconds. Along the rails, sailors man M2 Browning Point 50 caliber machine guns, scanning the horizon for fast-moving boats or suspicious vessels. And at the last line of defense, the Phalanx CIWs tracks everything around it, prepared to unleash a storm of 20 rounds if anything breaches the outer defenses. This isn't just a mine-clearing mission. It's a fully prepared combat formation moving through hostile territory. And now, before we go deeper into what happens next, drop a comment right now, proud of the USA. Let's see who's watching closely and standing with the operation as it unfolds. Ahead of the destroyers, Sikorsky M, H-60R, Seahawk helicopters sweep low across the water, acting as the fleet's eyes. These helicopters don't just observe, they actively trigger danger before it reaches the ships. Suspended beneath them on reinforced cables are magnetic mine countermeasure sleds, designed to mimic the signature of a large warship. As they move forward, any hidden influence mines detect the signal and detonate harmlessly behind the helicopter instead of beneath the destroyer. Each explosion clears another invisible threat. And for mines that remain hidden, underwater disposal drones are deployed. Guided remotely, these systems move towards suspicious objects, confirm targets using onboard cameras, and detonate them with precision. Meter by meter, the corridor begins to open, but the deeper the ships go, the higher the risk becomes, because this operation is happening without Iranian approval, and every crew member knows that retaliation could come without warning. Above the convoy, the air cover tightens. A 10 Thunderbolt II aircraft patrol low over the water, watching every vessel that moves within range. Known for its devastating firepower, the A-10 doesn't need to engage. Its presence alone is a warning. Higher above, F-35 Lightning II fighters maintain full-spectrum surveillance, tracking radar emissions, aircraft movements, and any signs of missile activity from the coast. Below them, the strait appears crowded with civilian fishing boats, but every sailor knows the truth. This is how the IRGC operates. Civilian cover, unpredictable movement, and sudden escalation. Every vessel is monitored. Every change in direction is analyzed. And then it happens. One fishing boat begins moving toward the cleared lane. Its speed doesn't match the pattern. Its heading is wrong. Within seconds, it's flagged as a potential threat. Coordinates are relayed. A Seahawk lifts off. A boarding team launches in a rigid inflatable boat. The helicopter hovers overhead, issuing warnings as rotor wash tears across the water. Moments later, armed sailors board the vessel and conduct a full search. Deck, cabin, storage, everything. For a tense few minutes, the entire convoy waits. Then the result comes in clear. No weapons, no explosives. The vessel is ordered to leave immediately, and it turns away. The mission continues. As the convoy regains formation, the tension doesn't drop, it builds. Because encounters like that aren't rare here, they're expected. What makes the Strait of Hormuz dangerous isn't just the weapons, it's the uncertainty. Every radar signal could be routine traffic or targeting data. Every small vessel could be harmless or loaded with explosives. Inside the destroyers, electronic warfare teams begin scanning for unusual transmissions. Signals spike briefly, then disappear. It's enough to raise concern, not enough to confirm a threat. That's the kind of ambiguity that defines operations in this region. At the same time, coastal surveillance systems are being monitored closely. Any sudden radar lock or missile system activation from shore would change the situation instantly. On board, no one relaxes. Weapons remain hot. Sensors stay locked. Because if something does happen, the response window won't be minutes, it'll be seconds. Back on deck, the atmosphere is controlled but tense. Sailors rotate shifts, but no one truly switches off. Eyes remain on the horizon. The sea looks calm, almost deceptively peaceful, but everyone on board knows what's beneath that surface. Cleared mines behind them, unknown threats still ahead. The destroyers maintain strict spacing as they move, ensuring that if one vessel encounters trouble, the other can respond immediately. Above them, the air cover adjusts constantly, tightening the protective bubble as the convoy approaches the most constricted section of the strait. This is the point where the waterway narrows, where reaction time shrinks, and where any hostile action would have maximum impact. And yet, the formation holds steady. No hesitation, no deviation. Just forward movement through one of the most volatile maritime zones on the planet. As the hours pass, more vessels approach, but this time, the response doesn't require boarding. The A-10 shifts position, flying low and directly into view. That alone is enough. The boats slow, hesitate, and then retreat. Sometimes, the threat of force is stronger than force itself. Meanwhile, the mine-clearing operation continues relentlessly. Helicopters sweep ahead. Drones neutralize hidden threats. Destroyers advance carefully through the newly cleared path. Above them, layered air cover ensures that no movement goes unnoticed. Every second of this transit is controlled tension. Every decision carries weight. And yet, the ships keep moving forward, because once a convoy commits to the Strait of Hormuz, turning back isn't an option. By April 12th, after hours of calculated movement and constant vigilance, the destroyers finally cross into the Persian Gulf. The mission is complete. The corridor is open. But what comes next shifts the entire situation. From Washington, a new directive is issued. President Donald Trump announces a full maritime blockade. Every Iranian port, every oil terminal, every commercial shipping route is now under U.S. naval oversight. No tanker moves. No cargo ship passes without encountering American forces. The message is clear and impossible to ignore. The ceasefire may exist on paper, but at sea, pressure is escalating fast. The Strait of Hormuz is no longer just a critical shipping lane. It has become the center of a growing confrontation. And if you made it this far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more high-intensity breakdowns like this, and stay tuned, because this story is far from over.